Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over the Natasha Denona Purple Blue palette. If you're new to my channel, my name's Linnea. I upload videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and I would love it if you'd subscribe. If you're back for another video, welcome back, and let's get into the video. So today what I wanted to do was come on and talk to you about Natasha Denona Eyeshadow. I really wanted to purchase the Natasha Denona 28 pan palette. I wanted one of them, wasn't sure which one I was going to do, the green brown or the purple blue. I went back and forth. I went into two different stores that had the palettes. I was in a store in California, a store in downtown Chicago, and a store in Oak Brook in Illinois, and I really swatched both of them, toyed around with the idea, couldn't make up my mind. I've watched every review about Natasha Denona and about her palettes and how they are game-changing eyeshadows and pretty much a must-have. So instead of jumping in and biting the bullet and buying the big 28 pan palettes, when the Star palette came out, I picked it up. I tried it, I've used it several times. The white color Galaxia that everyone complains about that gets all over everything, truly does get all over everything. One of the eyeshadows has crumbled up in the corner over here. This eyeshadow gets all over everything. It's a pretty palette. It's a pretty palette that I never reach for. It is, in my opinion, a palette that has a lot of muted colors. The mattes are muted colors. They look really bright and vibrant in the pan, like this color. It looks pretty vibrant here, right? Goes on your finger like a dream, okay? Swatches beautifully. This looks pretty bright. Swatches like a dream right there. But then when you put it on your eye, it really blends out like to nothing. Like, they're just not vibrant enough for me. I can do Too Faced and have a more vibrant color. So I was kind of bummed out because this was an expensive palette and I would never return it because I'd wanted it for so long. I'm not going to return it. I do love some of her duochrome eyeshadows, but like this duochrome that I was so excited about getting, because I mean it's really pigmented, really excited about this color, right? It's very, very similar to blue brown pigment from MAC. Okay, there it is. The cool thing about Natasha Denona eyeshadows is that if you blend, you keep blending them, they will blend out, as you can see right up here. They'll blend out to the duochromed color. So like this is a green that switches to a brown. So if you keep rubbing them, you can get the, if you rub over lightly, you see it's like two colors in one. You can get that as your crease and that could be on your lid. That's really cool, right? The problem that I have is I like to be able to pick up a palette and pretty much do everything all in one palette, especially if you're spending this kind of money on a palette. So I really didn't purchase anything else from Natasha Denona for a while. Then the Sunset palette came out. I didn't jump on the bandwagon. I was not going to buy the Sunset palette. I had no intention of purchasing the Sunset palette because again, it's a very expensive palette and I wasn't using the palette that I'd already purchased from Natasha Denona. So I wasn't gonna buy the Sunset palette. Well, in the meantime, in 2017, she came out with the holiday palettes, the Joya palette and the Aeris palette. I fell head over heels. You can still get both of these palettes, at least the last time I checked on Sephora you could. They are amazing. I love them. I will not open them and show you them because one of them did fall out before on camera. I did edit that out and shattered and I was devastated. I would be devastated if these broke. I started using these eyeshadows. I'll swatch a few of them for you. I'll swatch a few. I'm going to swatch two out of the Aeris and two out of the Joya. This green is unbelievable. This nude color is unbelievable. I mean, look at those two colors. They're unbelievable. The pigmentation, just the glow. I love them. I use them all the time. They're beautiful colors, right? So I use those two. I only purchased this one to begin with, and because I love this one so much, I went in and purchased this one. And I'm going to show you the difference of vibrancy on this matte color. What color is this? Red grape. Red grape? Yep, red grape. I'm going to show you the difference on red grape compared to the colors that are in the Star palette. Okay, so that's red grape, and these are the two colors from the Star palette. Much more vibrant. I hope that it's picking up on camera, but it's much more vibrant. So I said, well, maybe I just got the Star palette, and the Star palette was intended to be a more muted color scheme. maybe that's just the case. I mean, these palettes are amazing. I absolutely love them. Here's the dark burgundy color that's in that palette. Gorgeous, goes on gorgeous. It's just buttery. They last all day long. I can't say enough good things about these palettes. They're just amazing. I'm gonna have swatches all over myself. Okay, so I see how well these swatch and how much better I like them than the two colors that I picked out to swatch for you for the Star palette. So I started thinking, well maybe that Star palette was intended to be more of a muted color. So what do I go and do? You guessed it, I picked up the Star palette. I love this palette. I absolutely love this palette. I love the colors. I love the vibrancy. I love the way that they go on the eyes. It lasts all day. It's very buildable. I just love this palette. Thrilled by this palette. So again, I'll give you some swatches on this palette. My hands are disgusting because of course I didn't bring in, I mean, look at that eyeshadow. Stop. Just shut the front door. It's just like, just stop. They're that good. They're amazing. Another color. I hope that you're seeing that. There's the colors from the Sunset palette, those three right there. These are all the holiday ones, and those are from the Star. So you can see very different looking eyeshadows, right? I was very happy with this purchase. I am very happy with it. I would never get rid of the Star palette, and I have pulled it out on occasion. Not as often as I should for the amount of money that I spent on it, but I will never get rid of it. The Sunset palette I love. I use it probably at least once a week, if not more. It's a beautiful palette. I highly recommend it. So there I sat thinking I've wanted the 28 pan palettes forever. Once I used the Sunset palette and I used the holiday palettes, it was kind of leaning me in the direction that, you know what, I really want to check out the 28 pan palettes. I went downtown, I swatched them in store. We took a trip out to California. While we were in California, they also had the 28 pan palettes. They didn't have them in stock, thank God, because you know I would have pulled the trigger then, but they had them there. And when you have the ability to swatch something and test it out, I was overjoyed. So this birthday, I picked up the 28 pan palette, and I don't know if this is if it's gonna focus on it or not, but I picked up the 28 pan palette purple blue. I was so excited to get this thing home. I was so excited to use it. I was like literally jumping up and down. When you want something for that long and you finally get it, it's so exciting. Thanks, Mom. Here's the palette. I was overjoyed. Can you sense where this is going? I've watched so many eyeshadow reviews on this palette. I know this is like, people have had this for years. I haven't, and I've wanted it for years, and I kept pining over it. And then I brought it home, and then I used it the first day. And then I was very bummed out with the way that the eyeshadow turned out. So then I tried it another day. So if there's an eyeshadow palette that I was really interested in that got great reviews, I'm not going to give it a one-time use. I'm going to use it multiple times. The thing that I can say about this palette is don't go into this palette thinking that you're going to use it as a standalone palette. It's not that, and it's not intended to be that. It does have one brown in it, one purple that's matte in it. It has a couple of blues and green teal colors that are matte, but there's no way you're going to get a full look out of just using this palette. If you are, obviously, I'm sure that there are makeup artists that can make one look out of this. I can't. I'm just an everyday makeup person. So for me, this palette is not intended to do one look. Now, as I said, I kept using the palette. I purchased it and I was gonna make it work. And I was every day using it, I was more and more frustrated. I follow many people on YouTube. One of the people that I follow on YouTube is Trisha. Her YouTube channel is A Glittery Life, and she is a Natasha Denona rep. She's a trainer, I think, for Natasha Denona. I don't know her exact title, but I know that she goes to different Sephora's and she explains how to use Natasha Denona products. She introduces the team to the Natasha Denona products. So I messaged her and I said, listen, I bought this palette. What's up? Is this just hype? Is this just overhyped? You just have to treat them as they are a pressed pigment, not your finger is absolutely the best way to use these eyeshadows. And I wasn't doing that. I was doing them with just a brush and trying to pack them on, and it was just not coming to what I thought it should be. Once you get the hang of how to use these eyeshadows, they're unbelievable. These are a couple of my favorite colors. This taupey color what is it? I hate this paper. This is lavender gray. This color, stunning. Just look at that. Unbelievable. I also love vintage. Oh, look at that. And this one I've used a ton. Piggy. Piggy. I mean, and you can see I am, if you pat them, I hope you can see that color, because that is one of my favorites. Any eyeshadow and you put this on the lid, bam. Now, one of the colors that is off the charts is, what isn't chromatic? This silver. Oh, stop. Just stop. I mean, it's that good. It just, look at that. And I barely touched it. I hope that these colors are showing up for you guys. There it is. Could I get any more awkward on my swatch there? That's chromatic. Beautiful. I mean, just beautiful colors. Their duochromes that are in here are, I think that there's some duochromes, yeah. Calypso Blue. Oh, this duochrome is to die for. It's just beautiful. It doesn't even look the color that it comes out on your arm, on the swatch. So the color in the pan, this is Calypso Blue right here. So it looks kind of gray. I hope you can see when you turn the pan to see how it looks pink. Unbelievable. I love that eyeshadow. And when you have it on your eye and you walk around and you're moving and light's hitting your eye differently, it's beautiful. As you know, many YouTubers become very big and they just can't answer every message. They can't answer every single question that a person has. Trisha reached out to me and answered any of the questions that I had. I then went back to her and said, you know, I'm really considering getting the new palette that just came out, the blue one, the Tropic palette. And there she is, Trisha. I love watching her. I watch her all the time. A Glittery Life. I don't know why I have such a hard time saying A Glittery Life. Glittery, glittery. I can say glittery, but A Glittery Life. That's her YouTube channel. She's the one that saved me and is saving my palettes so that I don't get rid of them. Now, I watched her video on the Tropic palette, and after that video, I messaged her and said, okay, now I'm considering getting the Lila or the Tropic palette. But when she did the Tropic palette and showed all the neutral colors on the bottom of that palette, it got me all excited. She messaged me back and she said, if you're between the two, the Lila palette is her favorite out of all of them. And she's a Natasha Denona trainer. So guess what? The Natasha Denona Lila palette will definitely be purchased during the Sephora VIB sale. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's something a little bit different, just reviewing one brand, Natasha Denona, just her eyeshadow palettes. I gave you my honest opinion about 5 of them. Tell me your favorite Natasha Denona palette. I would love to hear that. I'm always up to hearing that. Is the Lila palette your favorite, or is the Tropic palette your favorite? Which one would you purchase? Let me know down below. Please give me a big thumbs up, subscribe, and until next time, have a great week.